Right, so I'm not going to lie, for some reason, I'm actually really excited about this upcoming Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz fight, or at least I was, because for those of you who haven't seen, it probably won't be going ahead anymore. And again, I'll get into in a second why that is of course the case. But what a year for boxing, even as combat sports in general it's been. I mean, the Tank versus Garcia fight I've been looking forward to for a couple of years now. That has been in the making for so long, and I kind of figured before the fight even started that when you look at it, Garcia had a lot of things to work on in his, you know, how he goes about his boxing. And I mean, he's only like 23, 24. He's still got a lot of years to develop as a fighter. I thought that Tank, he's just too technical. He was going to be able to I think he was going to beat Garcia in the areas that Garcia has just really not shown that he can be a terrific fighter in just, in mainly defense. And I mean, that obviously did happen. He got caught with a couple of shots that I think if you actually a little bit more experience and a little bit more of whatever the fuck Billy Hope did in Southpaw and the defensive training he did in that movie with Forrest Whitaker, and you add that to how you box, and you should be able to eventually, I think, compete with Tank Davis for 12 rounds. I think a rematch of that will happen soon. You know, you've got a Canelo fight, of course, which is popping up. A couple more fights here and there, but one that I think definitely caught my eye is the Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz fight. I'm a pretty big Nate Diaz fan. I think that motherfucker is one of the funniest blokes on the internet. There's a video going around where I don't know, he's with a fan, and the fan asks him to say something, and he ends up coming up with whatever this is.
Yo, assalamu alaikum, my niggas, what's good?
And I'm not gonna lie, the first time I watched that video, I nearly did a backflip off my fucking seat. I was just laughing my head off that much. The guy's an absolute, like, he's a joker.
What a joker.
But yeah, the guy's a funny guy. What can I say? And honestly, I've been one of those more supportive people about Jake Paul throughout his boxing career. I thought he genuinely was going to do a lot better against Tommy Fury than a lot of people thought he was, and I ended up being proved right. He was really good against Tommy Fury, especially for a YouTuber who was on Disney Channel like 4 years ago. Again, Tommy Fury was still the way better fighter and deserved to win, but again, eventually I think a rematch versus those two, similar to the Tank versus Garcia fight, it needs to happen for sure, I think. But for right now, Jake's doing what Garcia's doing. He's going to get a couple more fights under his belt, doing a little bit of training, and he's supposed to be fighting a guy who can take 988 punches to the face and not fall down in Nate Diaz. And when I say, if you haven't watched Nate Diaz fight, you need to watch Nate Diaz fight.
What did he say?
I mean, like, he is one of the most watchable fighters in the whole entire world. No matter what combat sport it is, this dude will just eat punches. You could punch him in the face with 980 times. You could slap him in the face with the biggest black cock in the world, and that guy will not go down. And that's what's leading me to think that the fight against Jake Paul is actually a lot closer than what a lot of people think. I think a lot of people in the boxing space have said Jake Paul is probably going to beat him quite easily. A lot of people in the MMA space are saying Diaz is going to beat him quite easily. I just think that's just MMA. I mean, like, every single time he's fought an MMA fighter, all the MMA fans have said there's no way this guy loses, but they always lose. Like, Askren, Woodley, Silva, and now you got Nate Diaz. But in my opinion, Nate Diaz knows how to box. This dude knows how to box. Again, not as good as other guys like Conor McGregor in the UFC. But my thing is, I think Jake Paul will genuinely punch this guy in the head a couple of times and realize, oh shit, this guy doesn't go down. It's just going to keep going back and forth. And then, I don't know who's going to win this fight. Honestly, a part of me is just wondering, how does Nate Diaz lose this fight? Because he's not going to go down. He's just not. Like, surely Jake Paul is not that good of a striker that Nate Diaz would fucking go down. There is no way in hell. It's just up to, I think, Nate Diaz's technique as a boxer. I mean, we've seen him box in the UFC. We haven't seen him box in a ring before. I don't think we've ever seen it happen. But the reality is that this fight is probably not going to be going ahead. And if you're wondering why is this not going to be going ahead, well, Nate Diaz recently just got arrested. Oh no. Fuck's sake. And if you're wondering why did Nate Diaz get arrested, there's a lot of rumors and speculation going around it. I don't think it's actually confirmed why he got arrested. All we know is assault. But a couple days ago, there was a video of him, I think, beating the fuck out of the Logan Paul impersonator. I don't know if he actually thought that was Logan Paul or not, but I'm pretty sure he Randy Orton RKO'd the fuck out of him to the ground. I haven't seen the video. I'm pretty sure the video's been deleted off nearly every platform, and I haven't gone on Twitter in a minute. I might have to go on there and scroll through all the fucking, I don't know, hentai porn that's taken over the page since Elon Musk has been there and try and find this video.
Oh yeah! Diaz, welcome in there! Oh yeah, Logan!
But from what I've heard, Nate Diaz nearly killed the guy. But at the end of the day, hopefully the charges will somewhat, I really want to see this fight go ahead. I think this could be one of the fights of the year if it does happen. So I really do hope the charges somehow get dropped. I don't know how, in what world, but I'm hoping they do, because I just want to see Nate Diaz fight Jake Paul. I just think that would be the funniest fucking thing, of these two absolute fucking spastics punching each other in the head non-stop. I don't know. Apparently, if Nate Diaz cannot fight, Jake Paul is going to be fighting KSI, which I'm not really for. And the reason I'm not for this is because I want Jake Paul and KSI to be its own thing. I want them to fight on a big main event card that is being advertised for months and months in advance. The reality is that if Jake Paul fights KSI on this fight, it will probably be a 2 to 3 week announcement by the time they find out that Nate Diaz probably won't be able to make it to this event, because this Nate Diaz drama could go on for months. That's just the realism of the thing. And I think, yes, even though the hype will straight away be there for a KSI Jake Paul fight, I don't know, something about just announcing this like a couple months before it's happening, and every day it gets closer and closer, the press conferences, all of this stuff. It just feels like this fight should be more built up than KSI being a replacement of fucking Nate Diaz. Like, I'm sure most of you guys agree. I'm not exactly too sure. I was kind of hoping Jake would fight Nate Diaz and this would get done in August, and then maybe KSI versus Jake Paul happens in like December. I thought that'd be a really awesome thing. Turns out KSI might be replacing Nate Diaz in this fight, and he might not be fighting Nate Diaz, which kind of hurts my feelings, because I thought this would have been the funniest fucking fight of all time. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Are you guys excited for a potential Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul fight? Is it happening or is it not? I have no idea. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my sports channel, my gaming channel, and my IRL, which is this one. All be getting linked in the description down below as well. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.